Hello and welcome to this week's mini session about parts of the self. Now this topic and concept, I actually really learnt about this in a very deep way through the internal family systems model of therapy developed by Dr. Richard Schwartz. And I found it very helpful. He has a very specific language in his model. I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to keep it really simple for us today, because when I learnt about that, it just was so helpful in not only my own sort of processing, but also in sessions. And that is because every single session, this statement comes out. Well, there's a part of me that really wants to do this, but there's a part of me that isn't sure. There's always an internal dialogue going on that's expressed in that way. There's a part of me that X, there's a part of me that Y, there's a part of me that wants it, there's a part of me that doesn't. There's a part of me that is anxious and there's a part of me that knows I'll be okay. This is what we're talking about, parts of the self. Now, just to draw on internal family systems, the self, capital S, is our adult self, the age and stage we're at right now, and the wise self, the part of us that is the caregiver, and a parent to the parts of us, the younger parts of us that feel unsure at times about certain aspects of life and relationships. And it's our job as the wise adult self to support and soothe our parts that are working to protect us when we're detecting, remember our threat detection system, when we're feeling slightly uncomfortable, threatened in any certain situation. And we bring in the wise self to reassure that part that whatever it is that's happening right now, it's okay, I'm okay, I can cope with that. Otherwise, that part can dominate the here and now experience and evoke anxiety and start to sabotage speech and action, make you reactive. So, keeping it really simple today, parts of the self. The self is our wise adult self, the caregiver and or parent of all our other parts that we develop along our lifespan, way back from childhood. And all of those parts are okay. Dr. Richard Schwartz's latest book is called No Bad Parts. I love that title. It's true. There is no part of us that is bad. There are only parts of us that are hurt and scared and protective and go into all sorts of modes of operating, managing and over-functioning and procrastinating, etc., etc. They're parts of you that have developed to serve a purpose in some way. And it's your job as the wise adult self to understand those parts, what their belief is, what they are operating in service of. And then you can reassure them that back then when that part formed and this was happening, that was really helpful. But now in this situation, at this time of my life, we don't need to work in that way. Good, huh? I really like it. It's a very good way of anchoring yourself when you have that inner world turbulence. And I think you might notice that you have that conflict with parts. A part of me is in conflict with another part, or it could be a young part in conflict with the self. So develop your awareness of your parts. Develop your awareness of your wise adult self, the caregiver and parent to all of your younger parts. And start to practice cohesive and unified and supportive conversations with all of your parts, and notice how much confidence and inner world security and satisfaction you have as a result of those practices. See you next week.